And we're also scheduled to chat with another Republican contender for governor next week, Andrew Giuliani. But I want to circle back to the impeachment probe into the governor and other news from the week with Politico's Bill Mahoney. Thank you for being here, Bill.
Thanks for having me.
So the Assembly Judiciary Committee met this week. They did executive session, which is nobody's allowed in it, for 2 hours. They emerged to say that they're issuing subpoenas, but we don't really know much more beyond that. What was your takeaway?
They're moving along, too slow for a lot of people's liking. If you look at a couple of the probes we have going on, Attorney General Tish James started hers right when this stuff started emerging, late February, early March. She issued subpoenas by March.
Yeah.
The Assembly launched this probe in early March. They decided a couple days ago that they were going to send subpoenas. So they're not quite moving at the same pace as the Attorney General's investigation, which could very well provide some fodder for some of these Republicans and other skeptics who are saying maybe they're not terribly interested in actually rushing this through and impeaching him and focusing on this as much as they should.
Right. We have talked about this before, about the Assembly delaying the governor's impeachment, maybe on purpose. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but I do think if they do get to the impeachment stage in the Assembly, that a lot of lawmakers may have lost their appetite to immediately overthrow the governor, as it was very popular in March, obviously.
Well, we're hearing a lot less about it these days.
Yeah.
It's something that most of the allegations are a few months old. We've seen continual polls saying that people don't want the governor to leave immediately. Mm-hmm. And people are focused on other stuff. I think there's a bit of a burnt outness in Albany right now after the past year and a half we've had, where it'll take a lot to get people to really want to spend August in the sweltering state capitol. And once you get beyond that, we're kind of at the point where he'll be leaving soon enough anyways if he doesn't win a fourth term.
Right. I'm wondering if this ends with the Assembly dragging on the impeachment probe until like December, January, going that far. And I wonder if it ends with the governor saying, I'm not going to run for a fourth term, and then that satisfies lawmakers to not actually impeach him, and then he gets to keep some of his legacy. I don't know. It's harder to know what the governor's thinking nowadays.
And keep in mind, we've moved the primaries forward a bit since the last time we had a gubernatorial race.
Right.
So assuming he is going to follow through with his plans on a fourth term, this is all going to be decided by January, February, who actually is running. So there's a chance that, yeah, this will all get piled up early this year, and I would not be surprised. And granted, we have no idea what they're going to find in these investigations yet. Right. If they find some terribly damning things that go even further beyond what we've heard, and concrete proof for some of the things that we have heard, that could put the pressure, or maybe stuff could happen. But if it's more like confirming what we have heard to some degree, but without really adding anything new to the mix, it would not be terribly stunning if legislators are just, yeah, let's ride this out for a year and see who wins to succeed him in 2022.
Exactly. You asked
or maybe he'll find some way to just keep on carrying on and be the candidate himself.
Wouldn't be surprised. But you asked a really interesting question this week to the Judiciary Chairman, Chuck Levine. He didn't answer, obviously, but you asked, what do you consider an impeachable offense, to Chuck Levine, which is going to be really crucial if the Assembly takes it up, because I don't think it's defined in the Constitution.
No, the federal Constitution, everybody who's paid attention to national politics the past few decades knows by now that it has this language about high crimes and misdemeanors and stuff like that, which you can debate what that means, but that is a definition. Mm-hmm. New York, if you go back to the original Constitution, their impeachable offense was mal, M-A-L. No real definition, but there was something in there, but that fell off by the 1840s. And since then, what we saw with the William Sulzer impeachment 100 years ago, the only impeachment we've had in New York, mm-hmm. is it's whatever the legislature decides an impeachable offense is. There's no set definition. So if they decide that there's some misdeeds by him, there's no set definition for them to work off of. And they'll have to decide, to me personally, every single member of the legislature is what he did an impeachable offense. And that could wind up becoming the defining question of Albany a few months from now.
I think it will, because when you're looking at a criminal inquiry, there is a line that you cross when you say, I'm investigating, and now I have the evidence to charge someone with this crime that is defined this way in statute. And I'm wondering if members of the Assembly that have tried to back him in recent months may point to the stuff that comes out of the investigation and say, that doesn't rise to an impeachable offense for me. I think they'll cover by saying, I think it's wrong what he did, but I'm not going to vote him out of office. I don't know where they end with that, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And the other point is, any impeachment, granted during the summer, they're not doing a whole lot else in the Capitol, but if this is the type of thing that gets dragged until January or February, it will completely derail government for a couple of months.
Yes.
Nobody will focus on passing any of their policy items. Every legislator who has 10, 12, 50 bills that they want to get passed next year, those aren't happening. If we're going to be spending all day in 12-hour sessions hearing witnesses about what the governor did or didn't do, and that's just going to subsume everything. And I do think that is weighing against the likelihood of him being impeached, is that there are a lot of legislators who are like, I might want him gone, I might not like him, what he's accused of is horrific, but let's not let all policy just be pushed aside for a year. And I think what we've seen so far is that is weighing on a lot of legislators' minds. They have projects, they have goals, things that they don't want to be distracted from getting done.
And during an election year, I bet there is not so much appetite for lawmakers to not pass the bills that they can then run on later in the year.
And once again, this is a June primary next year rather than the traditional September one. So sessions next year, it could take up the entire time before on their ballot. They'll have no time to do anything else, quite possibly, depending on when this whole process gets started.
I love the uncertainty. I love how everything's up in the air. We do have to leave it there. Bill, thank you very much for being here. I always appreciate it. And thank you for watching this week's New York Now. Have a great week and be well.